Oops, let me get rid of this thing. Hello, everyone. This is Dwayne Golden, and I'm happy to be here with you in tonight's webinar. Tonight's webinar is special because it's not just going to help you in your business. It's going to transcend across all the other boundaries in your life, such as your family life, social life, your volunteering life. Doesn't matter, but there's something about this concept of asking that excites me to share with you principles that I've learned and been able to apply. Before we begin, I'd like to know that you all can hear me okay, as I see you're there, but I want to make sure that we're okay sound-wise. I'm not too loud. If you can hear me all right, type in the number 1, and we shall begin in just a moment. I will be using some slides. However, I will start that once I give the proper introduction to you. So as we move forward, I wanted to let you know that we're coming to a time of the year where many are already in the thick of it regarding finances. Many are in the thick of it regarding relationships. Many are in the thick of it regarding getting a business to finally get off the ground. And it's no secret that the masses work hard to get a business off the ground so it can be self-sustaining at some level. And what I mean by self-sustaining is that even when you are not well and cannot do it, it still will bring money in for you. That takes something special. Of all the things it takes that's special, I'm going to be sharing with you tonight an ingredient that's often overlooked and rarely talked about. And it's great to see all of you tonight as you're here and that you can hear me okay. I'm not ignoring you. I just sticking to the point, and I do acknowledge that you certainly can hear me all right. So without further ado, I want to make sure we can get down to it because we've got some challenges in the house tonight. Many of us that are here struggle with how to get what we want and even how to ask for it. When it comes down to asking for what it is we desire, most will water down the ask process and not even believe it in yourself you're going to get it, and most often turn off whoever you're asking, so it kills your business. Unable to attract people to your organization or your team. Unable to attract people to buy something from your retail. Unable to ask properly, and tonight, we're going to get this thing done. So let me ask you this question tonight as we start. How many of you certainly recognize in this area of asking questions, asking the right question, whether it's asking someone for the sale, right? Asking them, buy it right now, and you're going to get this. It's a struggle inside of you. Some of you, how many of you also recognize, I want you to type in the number 5 if this is you. If any of these things are you, type in the number 5. It's time to ask someone to join your team and be a part of it, but to pay the money to get to the best level, you're uncomfortable asking. So you don't ask because you think that they don't have $300, so you don't ask. You already believe in your heart that they don't have $500, so you don't ask. So what you do, instead of asking the right question, you ask the wrong question, and everybody comes in at $50 because you are trying to use your own emotions to ask the question. I say that because I know I look and I say, man, there's just so many different reasons why only 1 to 3% really go after and tackle all they want and get it. And this area of these questions that many of us struggle with tonight are part of that reason. I did mention to type in number 5 if you fall into any of those categories. My dream is that after this webinar, many of you will plug in the very principles I'm going to share with you so you can know how to ask and get and receive. So I'll move forward. As I move forward, please note that I'm expecting you to not just hear it, but to also apply. As you apply, I want you to apply it. And if you don't understand it, ask a question. It's all about the ask, right? Now, think about it like this before I begin. If in fact I didn't ask the right question and didn't ask it regardless of what I emotionally felt, you would not be a part of this company. Someone had to ask the right question and ask the right amount without getting emotionally involved. So we're going to go there. Let's go ahead and take a walk together as I share my list as I share my screen with you. You're going to notice that I have a slide that's just basically saying, ask, man, ask. And then when you're done, ask. Isn't it funny that the 2-year-old, or let's just say the 3, 4, or 5-year-old that says, Mom, what? You said we were going to go to the park. We are going to go. Just give me a minute. Okay. And then they start again. They go, Mom. Okay. Get my coat. Let's go. You see, when you were younger, it was built in. It was inside of you. You had it already. You had the ability to go after what you want and ask exactly what you want and demonstrate how important it was for you when you asked it. It's kind of funny, and yet it's kind of sad, because through learning how to be politically correct and compromising, we've mastered the art of dumbing down our question or being afraid someone's going to look at us the wrong way or laugh at us, so we don't ask at all. And it's sad, because before we even get the question out, we sadly say no to the question before we ask it. We say no before we ask someone else to say yes. And here's what it looks like, for just so some of you guys could know. If you want to know what this looks like, type in the number 2, because it's going to crack you up. Here's what it looks like. When you ask the question that you're saying no to before you ask it, here's what it sounds like. So to get started today, it normally would cost like $300, but you can just get started tonight for $50. That'll help you get started. That's what it sounds like to ask the question that you're already saying no to. I would love for you to be a part of the President's Circle, but I know I heard about some of your family issues this week, so I'm going to pay for half of it. Right? Sad, but true. And I know that you guys can identify with it, but what I'm going to help you with tonight, I want you to plug it. I'm going to show you exactly how to ask questions so you can get the answer you want. But it's going to require something from you. It's going to require a commitment from you to let go. Get out of your own way. Most of what you're not receiving in your business and your personal life, it's because you're in the way. You allow your emotions, you allow your understanding of someone else's wallet, someone else's income to affect your questioning. Never do that. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the government did it that way? If before the government asked us to pay taxes, they checked up to see if our kid could have enough to stay in school, or if you're behind in your mortgage. If they don't do it, their job has nothing to do with their requirement. Their requirement is to ask for what rightfully belongs to them. Your requirement is to learn how to ask what belongs to you. So here's what we're going to do. I want you guys to make a commitment, and I promise you I will begin, and I won't keep you long, but I want your commitment that if I'm willing to show you how to ask and receive what you can rightfully earn and literally can change your outcomes from now on, that you will commit to getting out of your own way. You know, Albert Einstein stated that you can't solve problems at the same level you were at when you created the problem. If you're struggling asking questions and getting the right answers and building a business and income, you're not the right person to come up with the solution. Because unless you raise your level, learn something you don't know, operate from a different paradigm, and that's what I'm offering you tonight. So make a commitment. With the number 3, you're telling me that you will commit and apply the very asking principles I'm going to share with you. And then I'll rock and roll. Now, you might have noticed, I love to use the word principles because I want you to know when I say principles, it's independent of my opinion. It's independent of my feelings. It's independent of my emotions. It's based on something that was here before I got here before all of us. Principles. And the good thing about principles, they work the same for everyone who applies them. And yes, great. I see what you're writing. So let me go ahead. Let's get started. If you're going to ask for what you want and get it, you must first learn to use the power of E. The power of E. I was a biology chemistry major in college, and I remember so much in the mathematics required. You have to do so many things times the 10 power, dealing with exponents and that. And so at times when writing or when seeing it in a calculator, it would come off as the letter E. Well, this letter E I'm talking about is about the letter E for expectation. Saddens me how many of you don't even expect it and you ask for it and it shows up in your face. Wouldn't it be? I mean, it's amazing. A child would say, I want a truck. I want to get a truck for Christmas, and I want a bicycle, and I want big muscles so I can fight off all the wobblers, right? With confidence. Doesn't matter if they're getting it or not. They expect it, and their parents go to work that much harder. It's amazing. You might think the child who screams for what they want is a brat because they get it, but they're preparing themselves for a life of having high expectations out of this world. So when they go to ask for something, it comes out that way. So here's what that sounds like. I'm helping you tonight for your business. And it's like this. We have the most amazing opportunity for you where you could earn $1,500 over and over again, and it's only going to cost you $500. Are you ready to get started tonight? Now, there's a difference in that because they know I'm expecting them to say yes. If they have it or not, it doesn't matter. If they want to do it or not, doesn't matter. It's just you get more out of it when you ask with the power of E. And here's what that looks like in the world you already live in. You're already doing this stuff and don't know it. What happens if you go into the next room, hold your hand up to someone and say, hey, man, what's up, baby? And you put your hand up. They're going to slap it. You don't have to ask them for a high five. Put your hand up. Because your hand's up and you don't lower it, you leave it up. Here's what happens. They slap your hand because they know you expect them to do it. So now, under the power of E, it's amazing what result you get when people know that you expect the positive result. To get that? Want to be a part of this team? Oh, yeah. Well, we're expecting you to produce if you come with our team. Number one, by making sure that you're on Smart Order. That's what we do because we do the smart stuff. If you're not going to do that, there's other teams you can get on. But you're not going to make money there. Here, we make sure everybody's on Smart Order so everyone earns a residual for starters, period. That's a talk of confidence and expectation. You cannot, to have confidence and you don't expect it to turn out, it's not going to show up. It'll show in your posture. There's no posture when you don't believe it yourself. And there's no need to ask it if you're not in it yourself. So here's what it looks like. It's not just giving someone a high five. It's that thing of going to sit on your chair and not looking behind you because you've done it so much, you expect that it's there, so you just sit down. You've got to learn to take that same principle of expectation. This is how the grandmother that was written in the article that was written, I think it was written in the I want to say Wall Street Journal, like in '97. This grandmother lifts I think it's a Chevy Vega or one of those little cars off of her grandson in her 70s. She just couldn't stop. She expected it to go up. You guys have to hit it from a different position and begin to ask with expectation and stop this soft soaking. You're either in business or you're not. And if you're in business, you had better start having a better expectation in that business. To have someone to actually be close to joining your business and your facial expression of doubt. and your facial expression of it would cost you that much, but it could just come in now. It just come in at 50, and I'll take care of 25 of it. You guys have to lose that. You have to. You fight for your families like you really are their champion, like you're their gladiator, and that cannot happen if, in fact, you don't have any expectation for it. Let's move on. I could stay there a long time, but that's not the right thing to do. There's more to this concept of asking and receiving. I'm able to produce millions of dollars in sales a year with all kinds of different types of products, not because I'm tall, good looking, smart. It's because I ask for the sale. I have no problem sending the email and telling someone to get it right now, click the button and go get it. I don't bother soft-soaking it. If you get time, take a look at it for me. Lose that language, folks. Learn how to ask questions. Lose it. Don't say, hey, I'd love your support. You're not a charity. You're in business. You better learn how to ask for something like you are the business owner, like you are the CEO of your business that is going to rescue your family to those amazing dreams that you have for them. You've got to begin to live like it, and it begins here, and it begins here, and it will come out. It'll come out in the right questions. But what's it look like? If I'm losing you, I don't want to lose you. Let me know if you're still with me so we can go here together. What else? Well, if you're going to ask a question and get what you want, get what you're working towards, you're going to have to stop betting against yourself. I talked about it a little bit earlier. This idea of asking for something when you don't expect it to happen. So many people that they either coach or counseling, well, I was going to launch it, but I don't know. I don't have any big people with me, and nobody knows who I am yet. You ought to go back to work, or you had best start believing in what you're doing. How dare you ask someone to say yes to you when you haven't said it yet? Stop betting against yourself. Cut it out. Unbelievable. You want me to join your team, and you haven't even joined it yet. And I can tell you're not even all in. You may have paid something, but you're not sure. You're looking around. You might log in once a month, and you think people want to join a team where it's not even important enough for you to run it like a business. Guess what? Not at all. Not for a moment. You see, you attract people of substance when you know what you're doing, and when you have confidence in it. When you're not pedaling, backpedaling, soft-soaking, sidestepping, you're direct to it. Become a part of this team. We're doing this. We're making it happen. Now, here's where some of the lack of confidence comes from. Many in their confusion will ask you to join their team, spend your last $300, $500, or $1,500 to join it. With only a week or two, they're asking you to join something else because they were never committed. So their questions come off as a little confident, but the minute you see that they're going in the wrong direction, instead of betting against yourself, bet against whoever's doing that. You have got to step up your game and honor your family differently by asking like you're asking for the medicine that's going to save their life. Come join Team Red, Team Blue. At Team Blue, we have it this way and that way. And we work with our people. Have it that way. That's how you ask a question. You don't ask someone to join something with you that costs money and you look so doubtful yourself. I'm not sure. I'm kind of betting against myself. If I were you, I would never join this team, but just give me $50. It'll get you started, right? How many of you can identify with what I'm talking about so far? I've already gotten through 2 of them. We've got a few more to get through, and I'm going to let you go. But I want to give you the formula tonight. Type in the number 4 if, in fact, you can identify with what I'm saying, and you know it's not right, and you certainly want to work on it. Amazing. How many people would come to me and say, I know you're busy, so you probably don't have time to answer me. Thank you. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going to have to ask me better than that. I got to tell you, I think of the woman in Luke chapter 18. She was so persistent because of her importunity. The great king could not turn her away. She was a pest, like your 2-year-old. Dad, you said you were going to take me to practice. I could join the soccer team. Yeah, but Dad's got a lot of work. But you said, Dad, a child is committed. They know how to ask. You need to claim that same thing back that God gave you from birth and learn how to ask with fervor. Learn how to ask because you mean it. Learn how to ask because guess what? You're not going to get it otherwise. Because if you don't ask, who's going to ask for you? Who? It's amazing. I remember my young years of teaching Sunday school. Mr. Dwayne, can I go to the restroom? Not yet. We're going to go soon. But I got to go. Just give me 5 minutes. You can hold it. Mr. Dwayne, I got to go now. I'm like, okay. The kid convinced me. They know how to ask, right? Well, learn how to ask in your business. That's a step in this process. But it becomes beautiful when we start to see it all come together. You first of all use the power of E. Have a better expectation. Number 2, don't bet against yourself. Stop it. If you bet against yourself with your face, and then your mouth is saying something different, whoever you're talking to is going to see it. They're going to see it in your email message, right? They're going to see it in your facial expression. They're going to hear it in your voice. Stop betting against yourself and ask questions, right, that you, first of all, are saying yes to. What else? Well, I'm just so glad you asked. You guys are so wonderful. As we move forward, and you guys have some laughs, you know, it's amazing how many people will ask a question to the wrong person out of fear or lack of persistence or lack of fight or lack of fervor. It's the most common thing I've seen. Hey, even here, some of you, if I say 1,000,000 times, if you want my help, you must first ask it in support. If you don't get the answer you want, bring me a ticket number. I don't want all the drama. I'm actually telling you how to ask it so I can answer you quickly. You guys have got to learn how to ask the right person. You do. You got to ask the person who can give it to you. And if someone who can give it to you tells you they're not giving you anything unless you go by these 3 things, learn how to follow that. It's not rocket science. Did you know the reason for using autoresponders, funnels, and things like that is your customer tells you their own behavior. If you have a customer that buys a $7 product from you all year long, and they never buy the $17, the $25, the $30, or $50, they're telling you how to ask for things. So you always should bring them a $7 product. They're telling you. If you have someone on your team that says, don't be rude to me, don't be an arrogant jerk, or I will shut down, the last thing you want to do is ask for their help and support as a rude, arrogant jerk. Some of you guys don't get it. You got to ask the right person, and you better ask them the correct way. I am amazed how many will ask me to buy something from them, but they don't ask that. They ask it in a way that tells me that they would never even pay for it. They ask me if I would come out and support them, like I'm donating to cancer or something. It's business. If it's business, you don't need me to come out and support it. You don't need me to literally throw money at it, even though you won't. Not at all. Ask for the sale. Here's a product. Here's what it does, and it's amazing. You'll want to buy it. But don't ever ask me to help a brother out because I'm not. My missions are for church and for healthy, needy people. My missions are for that kind of thing. If you're in business and you want it to work, don't ever ask me to join your team to help you out because I don't believe in it. And you better stop asking other people to do it because you're telling them from the start, you don't believe in it and it doesn't work because the only way it could possibly work is if people volunteer to help you out. And that kind of business is not worth having. Got it? Think about it. If your business is so wonderful and so great and pays so good, why would someone have to do it to help you out, help you win a contest? I'm one person away from a contest. To buy a product to help someone out is foolish. It's artificial. It's fake. And guess what? Learn who to ask and how to ask it. But stop asking for people to pat you on the back and make a donation because you're not in need, or if you are, you're not in business. Amazing. So I'm curious. If you want, how many of you want a builder, someone that understands business and wants to run with it, someone that knows how to make a commitment? How many of you want someone like that on your team? You want someone that's a go-getter. They don't require you to babysit them. They don't need you to hold their hand. They don't need to kiss them goodnight. They just said, give me the instructions, tell me where it's at, and get out of my way. How many of you want someone like that? Type in the letter Y. Because it's getting ready to knock you off those socks off your feet when I share this part with you. You want a go-getter. You want someone that can just get it done. By the time they're done, you now are your car bonus has grown up, everything, you're unilevel because you got yourself a mover and a shaker. Now, I know you do. Everyone wants that. But you know what's funny? You tell me why, if you all want that, you don't go for it. You're going for, if you could just get started on I have an entrepreneur level bonus. You'll see the other stuff later. But you could just get started on just a little. You're not asking for a go-getter wants to go after something. So you got to know who to ask. You guys are afraid to ask the kingpins. You ask the people who are later going to make you want to strangle them. You ask the person who's going to cry and ask me to move them because they don't like you. You're going to ask someone who's not a go-getter, who's going to say because you're not on the phone with them 24 hours a day, they don't want to be there. You guys don't know how to ask. So if you see someone out there in the internet world or the home business world, if they're a mover and a shaker, why don't I ask them? I say you're doing pretty good. We have people that never made any money in our company making a fortune. We know you're doing great where you're at, but just saying. See, the rumor's out that you literally are on the market. Let me just share this opportunity with you. You can make $1,500 over and over and over, $3,500 over and over, your choice, $10,000 over and over and over, your choice. With your, watch this now, with your caliber, credibility, and what you're able to do, you'd make a fortune over here. Our multiple six-figure earners didn't even make $50,000 a year before. You would kill it. Come on over. You have to know who to ask. Instead, you find someone on Facebook who's crying about paying for a domain. They paid $10 for a domain, and they're angry, or they're mad because their current company has an auto ship. You go after them. They come on your team, and they bring that same crap here to you. And now you're disappointed. But the problem isn't the person. Don't be mad at them. They're being who they are. The problem is you forgot the right person to ask. You want a team of winners, but you don't go after anybody that's currently winning. You go after people that are only currently losing, which isn't bad, but I'm just telling you that's a part of the problem. When you're building something great, you look for 10s. And you can't turn a 2 into a 10. A 2 can be a 2. They can join anytime they want. But the ones you're prospecting. See, I'll let anybody come on. If I'm building a team, you can come on to the team. But if you're just joining to join, then you can just do that on a link. You don't need my attention or my conversation. My attention, my conversation is for the business to grow and be built. So I'm going to spend that with the people that are going to make that happen. Learn and practice who to ask. It's amazing. It's just amazing. If my dad's the one that's going to say yes about me borrowing the car, there's nothing really to ask mom unless I want to ask her, will you wink at dad? Would you like make some googly eyes at dad, take him out on a date? But I can't ask her because he's the one saying the final yes. I need to man up so he can have some respect. Now watch this. When you start asking the right people, you're going to have two things happen for you. You ready? You're going to get more no's, but you're going to get more yeses. And the yeses are going to be so much more powerful. You get one yes from a 10. One yes from a 10. Now watch how powerful this is, guys. If you join a 10 on your team and they bring in 10 or 20,000 people to your organization, is that more powerful than what you've been doing by bringing 100 who said yes, but inside they said no, nothing, they weren't a 10. Their yeses aren't equal. So you'll find you might get more rejections, but you're going to make more money and do more when you learn how to do business this way. Tough, right? I mean, I agree. It's a tough challenge to mentally get over it, but you must get it. Trust me. You're better off getting 2 people all year long that are going to build a team of 5 to 10,000 than only getting 5,000 people who are only going to do the business for a month at the $50 level and then leave. You got nothing. You made a little change. But the other scenario I gave you will pay you all year long. If you got it, type in the number 1. I don't want to confuse you. I want to help you. Your asking process is broken, and you must fix it by knowing who to ask. You see, there's a principle I like to use called the all-inclusive principle. Everyone's welcome, but everyone is not getting the same thing. You see, in building a home business, those people that are producing are the ones that I would answer their phone calls. If you're on my team, you're producing, right? I don't have to call you and say, where are you? We got a webinar going. I don't have to look out for you and ask you, hey, look, are you going to the conference? I don't have to beg you. Well, guess what? You deserve my time and attention. I know who to ask things for. So I can tell you this week, hey guys, I want every one of our leaders to win some bonus money this week. So I want everybody, here's your job. This week, 4 new people. All right, at the business specialist level or higher, 4 new people. Can you do it? Let's do it. I'm going to lead by example, but you guys come with me. I know who to ask that to. I'm not going to ask someone who literally spends most of the week watching Game of Thrones and what do you call these things? American Idol. They're busy with everything but business. I'm not asking them anything. They might get an email, but I know who to ask. And then I tell those teams to get their leaders. And the principle works like this. If Jesus Christ could turn the world upside down with just 12 centuries ago, and every day around the world, people are still joining that team, the principle does work. Know who to ask. And here's what's really cool about it. You don't have to be rude or arrogant or mean to people just because they don't work at the same level. You just have to know where to put your time and attention. Because I can tell you how much you're making by where your time goes. If you spend, out of your 168 hours a week, you spend 50 of them with whiners and complainers who don't take care of their smart order and don't care of other things. All you do is wipe noses, put bibs on, right? And then you burp everybody and put them to sleep. Guess what? Your income will show it. I can tell you by your average income per month and what you're doing in your business where your time isn't. I won't necessarily know where it's at because it could be anywhere. I can just tell you where it is not. But when you ask the right questions, you certainly get the answers. It's a beautiful principle. Wasn't it one of, was it Einstein, or was it, this one was Einstein too? For every direction there's an action, there's equal action in the opposite direction. You might get an action of a no or a yes in the other direction, but you'll get it. When I launched Ingresso Cibernetico, I bet you out of the top 30 people, I had 28 no way. No way. 2 by 2, forget it. I didn't care. Are you kidding? No. Nah, it's not for me, man. Nah. They all regretted it because the power of it is we're still here, still producing. And the crazy thing about it is I didn't get caught up in the no's. I was so excited about the yeses. And the yeses have brought us where we are. Some of you tonight are struggling on this very concept in your relationship life. So instead of asking your wife or your husband, you're talking to your best friend. You're asking the wrong person. You're mad at your boss, so you go home and you ask your wife the questions, or your husband. You don't tell your boss that. You guys got to learn to direct your stuff where it goes, period. Learn where to ask. Let's go. You ready to move on? I don't want to keep you all night. We got stuff to do, man. I hope this is helpful for you. If it's helpful for you, go ahead and give me a number, a letter R if it's helpful. Now, here's something that's going to be a big help for you. I trust. It saddens me. Most of them, we could be very clear. It's we're cursing angry. We have to be extremely mad at someone in order to be clear and specific. You see, I personally tell a lot of people, no, if I don't understand what you're saying, I'm not answering. I'm either going to say no or I can't answer. I have no idea what you're saying. You got to be clear. It's amazing. Some of you guys are so good at it. I stand up and applaud you. I mean, some of the questions that I'm asked, I might get angry, but I give in. I say yes, right? I may say not this time, but you know what? There's something about the respect that you give to the person that believes so much in what they're doing, even though it sounds foolish, even though they're really pushing the envelope pretty far, that they have the courage to be 100% specific and clear, that it makes it easy to like, okay, at least I know what all the options are and what I have to lose, because they were so clear. Get it to. To show someone everything in the company and to show them every business level and then just to ask them to join, it's foolish. You've given them way too many things about it's not specific and clear. I'm going to share with you what specific and clear is like. Hey, at Team Blue, me and all of my leaders, we come in at the business manager level. It's only $300, and then we get them smarter, because here's why we do it. And that's clear. That's a clear message. Now later, as we begin to develop and grow our incomes, we raise it and we go to something higher. It's a specific, and it may be more than what most of you would ask for, but it gets you much greater results. And what's really crazy about it is it's clear to the people that are hearing you. To let someone see everything. Oh, we have this thing called President Circle. We've got, when there's there's a business director level. We even have a level that's like $3,500, one that's $7,500. We have this new cool thing called Cart Deck. You just tell them everything, and now you've messed up. You're no longer clear or specific. You've given their brain a million things to think about instead of just talking about what are you and your team doing. Give me a place to start. And the place to start has got to be clear. Why? Because another foundational principle. Nothing, including your income, can become dynamic until it's clear. Give a clear, concise message of what you and your team are about and why you're worth joining. I remember several very active teams of 2014. They really had a clear message about what they were doing. Come to our team. First of all, when you get here, we got this video for you to watch. Come to our team, we do this. Come to our team, we do that. And they grew. That's how it works. Clarity. There are some teams that were worked just as hard, but they didn't have the same results because there's a lack of clarity. It's okay, now what now? What do I do now? So you want to make sure you're clear and specific. You know, a guy who likes a girl and will ask her what her favorite color is all year long. He'll ask her what kind of car she likes to drive, or how many kids she wants, but never comes out and says, will you be my wife or my girlfriend? He's going nowhere fast because it's not clear what he's up to. Is he looking for a little sister, a big sister? Is he looking for just another friend or a weekend good time? It's not clear because there's no clear message. And here's the thing. If you guys in this, I know I keep throwing them at you and I don't want to throw too much, but I want you to get this. A confused mind will never make a commitment. So if you confuse me, I cannot commit to what you're asking. And your prospects are the same. And the prospects go through the exact same thing. Be clear. Clear it up. Now, as we go forward and look for clarity, I have many things I would love to share within this thing, but I want to tell you something. When you think about KFC, which is in more than 80 different countries, who literally now are part of PepsiCo, the Pepsi-Cola company, over 900 times, Colonel Sanders was turned down for his recipe or not accepted. He believed in it as a retiree in his 60s. Most of you, you forgot that when you're doing it the right way, when you're asking the right way, it's okay to get no's. It's okay. It's all right. I think about when I went to ask if I could go to college, to the military. They laughed and said they turned me down right away because of my transcripts. I was a horrible student in high school, failing. Didn't stop me, kept going, kept asking, kept asking. Then I went and got a bachelor's degree, then a master's degree. Didn't matter. You have to be persistent. Your world is an oyster waiting for you, but you better learn to ask or you're going to miss it. Your birthday is going to come faster and faster and faster, and you're going to wish that you could get what you've been visualizing and dreaming, but you've never asked for it. Be like the child. Be like the child. Ask. Get out there and do it. Get out there, I beg you, and do it. I've got to move forward. As you guys are very awesome, but I want this to work for you. And it's not about Ingresso Cybernetical, because their principles, they work anywhere. They're going to work in any business you're doing. But for God's sakes, change your asking module. Fix it. Replace it. Get it with one that's going to work. Use the power of expectation. Stop betting against yourself by saying, I hope you'll do this, right? If you get time on Thursday, will you come to my webinar? You've got to learn how to ask with better expectations and not bet against yourself. And learn how to ask someone who could give you the answer. Ask someone who really can get it for you. Don't stop asking the wrong person the wrong question. Ask the right person the right question. And then I said, be clear, be specific and clear. And here we go. I have to take you back to your childhood as we prepare to close. As we prepare to close, I take you to the child who says, Mom and Dad, I want to play the guitar. The mom and dad say, nah, you already quit football. You asked us to do that way to pay all that money. We already said no. And we said yes to something else and you didn't even do that. We said yes to the ukulele and you didn't do that. And the kid goes, listen, I'm going to do it. I've been studying with friends. I've got it. Now the student's being clear. The child is being clear in their answer. I'm not only going to do it, but I promise to pay back the money you used to get it for me with some of the cool stuff I'm going to do. There's a couple friends that already have a band. I understand music from a timing standpoint. I just want you to pay for me the guitar. Get me the guitar. I'll pay for the lessons. He leverages it. He asks the right questions. He has high expectations. And what 9 out of 10 parents do, they eventually give in if, in fact, the child never turns around. They think the child's nuts. They go, man, he won't let up. She won't quit. You've got to be like the woman in Luke chapter 18. Because of your importunity, they must turn around. I must let you have it because I have such a great respect for you. Oh my goodness, what could possibly happen if I don't give in? Because you repeatedly ask me. I'm glad my kids are grown up. Oh my goodness, my middle child, he was relentless. Dad, thought we're going to Florida. Well, we are. We're going to go next month because no, you said we're going to go to Florida before my birthday. Okay, we're going to go, but just not yet. I need more time. Yeah, I know. But Dad, if we go to Florida now, before the weather breaks, this time it's going to snow and you have to get new tires. He laid it down and I could not turn this kid down. I mean, he was always in trouble, but I could not get away from him because he knew how to handle this last one. He had importunity. He had not only had importunity, he didn't let up. He repeatedly asked. He repeated and repeated and repeated. So I want to ask you guys something. I would ask you in all of your committing, commit to asking differently. Use the power of expectation. Ask repeatedly. Ask the people that really can do it, they really get it done. Stop betting against yourself. Be clear and specific. You can do this. Your business deserves it. We're coming to the last part of the year. Some of you guys are going to be answering, right, as other people are selling things and signing you up. You already probably been signed up for 5 different teams because they knew how to ask and you didn't. Isn't that sad? Think about it. In the last 2 years, because you're a better answer than asker, people have been signing you up for every team or every new company around the block. So they make more money because they know how to ask. You don't make more money. You complain that you don't like them, but really they're not the problem. You are. You can fix that. You need to learn how to ask because it's a principle that I love. Ask for me stands for ask, seek, and knock. Keep going. Keep pushing. Ask. And while you're asking, be looking. And while you're looking, be knocking. There are some lives that are changed because I knew how to ask. And if I didn't, I would have cheated them out of a great benefit of their life over the last decade. Learn how to ask. Your people, I think they deserve to have you buying and saying yes before they do. This is Dwayne Golden. It's been a pleasure to be here with you tonight. I know you have things to do with your family, but I wanted to share this with you. If there's any questions you have around the content of asking, you can go ahead and type it in now. I'll be glad to address it. But I want you to note this. This is not out of your line of fire. This is stuff that you can do. This is something that you are very capable of. So I want to ask you to go ahead and if you have any question at all for me, go ahead. If you have a comment, I'd be ready to hear that. And maybe you're one of those people that you never had trouble asking. You're great at asking, and this was of no value for you. Doesn't matter. I'd like to hear what your response is, if you have a response, or if you have a question, type it in. In the meantime, this could take 2 hours. And I tried to narrow it down for you without overloading. I noticed some of you guys, I don't want you to become professional listeners. And if I throw too much at you, you can't apply it. You just kind of like put it aside and say, I'm going to get to it later, never do. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, Terry, man. I'm a big fan and you know it. Keep up the good work. I try and follow your blogs and your email messages and stuff as often as I can. Thank you, man. Anyone else? Anyone have a question about it? Get better at this asking. It doesn't take rocket science. Guess what? It transcends across email messaging, phone calls, recruiting, all that stuff. But you're on one side of the equation or the other. You're either a good asker or a great answer. And if you're a great answer, you've been on someone's team 5 times and you've got no one on yours. See what I'm saying? Truth. Looking forward to as we close the year out. I leave Sunday for the United States. Hey, you're welcome, Robert. It's a pleasure, man. I leave Sunday for the United States. I have to go get some medical exams done. And while I'm there, I'll be thinking about you guys. And I'll try to do a webinar from the United States for sure. Okay? And in the meantime, I wish you guys the best. Have a good night. I see no more questions are coming across. Thank you, Terry, Robert, and the rest of you, all of you that are here. I'm not ignoring everyone. And I'll just give a shout out, Earl Cox, Jimmy, James, everybody I could see, Alfie, Evelyn, good to see you. I did respond to you in Skype, there, young lady. Nadia, good to see you. Jose Alfredo Loomis. Wow, how many years have we been together, man? Blessing. One day I get to meet you. I need to get over to, I think, Dominican Republic, or I think, yeah, I think so. Susan Halliman, good to see you. Great to hear from you as well. Donna, Terry Fraser, of course, I've just responded to you. Isaac Jones, Ward, Rose, Hensai, Dolly. Hey, Dolly. Susan, Jay, Sharon. There's so many of you. Robert, JB, David, Brian, Heath. Wow, good to see you, man. It's been a few years together here. Jeannie, good to see you, Jeannie Prevost. Jennifer Bagner-Reese, happy birthday to you publicly, as I know you had your 29th birthday today. I wish you the best. Happy birthday to you for sure. And yeah. Wow. Great to hear from you guys. Now I guess I can see what you're putting. It's my pleasure for sharing, Rose and Isaac. How can I sell something if I don't know how it works? You can't, and you shouldn't. First order of business, when you get something, all of your energy and attention should be in learning how it works because you're going to be a great recruiter. What most people do, Isaac, is they join something, they go out and they start sending out emails, everything, trying to get people to join. You don't know what you're doing. And what's crazy about it is it creates a dysfunctional family, dysfunctional team. It's like, I mean, it doesn't make up. Hey, I'm in the 12th grade, never been here before. I went from the 6th to the 12th, and I want everybody else to come up with me. And none of us will be able to do the work together. Not good. Good comment, Isaac. Evelyn, yes, I responded to you in Skype, but you haven't said anything yet. So when you get back there, of course, I'll be back around tomorrow as I prepare to leave for the United States. Hey, smart move, Brian. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. And stop beating yourself against the wall for sure. Let's see who else. Alfie, check my Skype. I will. I haven't seen, you know what? You might have the wrong Skype, bro. That ain't me. I think if I would have seen it. I have hundreds of people in my favorites. I would have seen you. I know your name very well. I'll send you my Skype ID. And Evelyn, I've already accepted you as a friend, and you did not. I did not get a response back. All right. All right. Cool beans. Blessings to you guys. As we let's see, private chat. Yes. There's my Skype ID. All right. All right. God bless you guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Take care.